African weed is where the future's at. It's the #1 project we're working on right now. That's what I'm wanting to work on in Spain this year. I have a bunch of exciting crosses I made from Africa working in BC. We've only kicked one out so far blindly. We pulled at random 2 years ago in Washington, one cross out, and it's called MILF. And it's out of this world. It's a 4-way cross of some Africans I have breeding for THCV. And it's like a fruit explosion in your mouth. We've got the breeding times on it down to 7 weeks to flower. And every time I've grown it in the last 2 crops, it was the first one to run out and everybody asked it for it. So as soon as we can get some more of these Africans out, it's gonna change a lot of the game because they have different buzzes, they have different cannabinoids in it. They've re-evolved their own self there in their own niches, and they are adding some really exciting new crosses to the mix. If that one I pulled blindly out of the 15 crosses was that good, I'm slobbering to get to the other 14. African genetics is another one of them places where it's not so much that it's indigenous, which there is in the junction there where they all collide, places where it's spread naturally, not through man, but through the slave trade, through the religions, through the crusades. Cannabis is spread around the world. It's a medicine we've always used. And so in places it's re-evolving in niches. It's lowland breeds rope type, highland breeds drug type. Certain places in the world with mixtures of certain endogenous conditions push these strains to do things they don't do nowhere else. I've watched genes replicate, like I've seen the autoflyer gene in 4 African strains now that have nothing to do with ruderalis and they ain't hooked to the bullshit of that. So there's a lot of really cool things that we're just discovering through going back and looking at the third world places and places where people use cannabis as medicine because they had no other choice. And families have bred this for generations now, and they have their own strains. And we need to mix them into the fold before we pollute them with our genetics.